competence. There are some in the UPP who argue about, the candidates having formal qualifications in order to increase their competence. And I can't believe that in the 21st century, that we have people arguing against the need for leaders to be properly equipped, to be properly trained. And they're trying to compare a surveyor who did not have, a university degree. But at that time, surveyor was far more enlightened than 99% of the population, and he had training. He was trained at a religious college in Trinidad. He was also an entrepreneur. He had success, or many successes for that matter, prior to becoming a trade union leader and subsequently the premier and the prime minister of this country. So for people like Serpent and so on, notwithstanding all of the opportunities that we have, the scholarships that we've been giving, we're spending on average about $30 million a year in gifts, scholarship gifts, giving up to about 2,000 individuals annually, scholarships. And with all of these opportunities for the last 8 years since we have been in government, because if Serpent wanted a scholarship, we'd have gotten it. Serpent has actually brought requests for duty free to me and written off the duties. He would have gotten thousands of dollars off. So if we had to give him a scholarship to, improve his skills, we would have done so. So I understand that they're trying to make an issue out of the fact that the Honorable Dean Jonas, Comrade Dean Jonas, pointed out that Serpent, really doesn't have the qualification or the skills to govern. And that is a factual statement. I mean, what they're trying to do now is to spin it and to suggest that it's an attack on those who are not qualified, which is utter nonsense. I even heard one individual trying to suggest that we are suggesting that in order to be eligible to be a representative, that you ought to have a degree. That is not what we're saying. In fact, representative politics should be open to all, irrespective of your qualification or your standing in life, your socioeconomic standing. But again, the individual must have some level of training and competence. And, it's a standard requirement for most profession. I mean, you can't go and take an untrained person and ask them to go and pilot a plane. I need to do that with you. Would you want to ride in a plane, even a car for that matter? How comfortable would you feel driving in a vehicle with an unlicensed person? So if you don't have the experience and you don't have the qualifications, then clearly you're not properly equipped to govern. And that is why, the UPP continue to make mistakes, even in opposition, and taking positions that are not sustainable. In fact, there's a clip there with Serpent, which I'm hoping that
we're gonna get to all that. We have several things here to share with our listeners, including some a check as well. We have quite a few things. So,
but let me just wind up on this discussion. I'm saying here that we cannot frown against the idea of individuals developing themselves, qualifying, and getting necessary experience in order to improve the capacity to perform. And if we do otherwise, then we will not be able to build a meritocratic society. In fact, all we'll do is that we will level down the society and we will not have people who can compete with the best in the world. All of these institutions that we have developed are precisely to ensure that every single Antiguan, notwithstanding the socioeconomic standing, notwithstanding how many subjects they may have, that they have an opportunity to even go to the second chance program, get 5 CXCs or whatever is required so they can matriculate to go to UE5 Islands, or if they don't want to go along the academic line, that they can do a technical degree at the new Abyss, that in which we'll be spending about probably up to 20 million. In fact, I'm pleased to say too that the donor who promised us 4 million pounds has already remitted 2 million of the proceeds, 2 million pounds. It's in the bank. And this project should start next month. We're hoping to accelerate it and to make sure that we have all the facilities so that we can take vocational training to the next level. And again, we're giving people a pathway. If you don't want to be an academic, at least you should be able to pursue a skill so that you can sustain yourself. And again, we have the second chance program. My understanding now is that you will be working closer with the second chance program so that as individuals acquire their 5 subjects and they keep subjects and so on, you will target them after they would have matriculated. So you can see that we have programs for everybody, notwithstanding what your situation may be. Even if you left school, you have no subject, then you can enroll in the second chance program literally for free and get necessary CXC so you can matriculate. So when you have politicians now presenting themselves like Alistair and so on and Serpent, and they have no qualifications, even the girl who was she named Pearl and so on, and trying to suggest that they're experts in everything. That's why we call them charlatans, but it's unacceptable in the 21st century. You can't have all these opportunities. You're not availing yourself of the opportunities. I mean, the other one that runs against Daryl Matthew, what's your name? The girl
Gladys Potter. Yes.
I mean, get people properly trained. It's a country you're running yourself. You shop, you're running, you're contesting to lead. So we make no apologies about comparing our team to that of the UPP. And when you look at them, let's take them. Look at Jonathan versus Sir Malwin. Sir Malwin has a degree, at least a first degree, a significant amount of corporate experience in the United States, even served as a VP for a major oil company there. Jonathan, on the other hand, doesn't have any tertiary education, unemployed. You see the contrast? Then let's look, for example, at Royal North. Max Fernandez has a master's degree. Pearl Quinn, no qualifications. Serpent now, no qualifications. And even in the case of Dean Jonas, Dean was a significant player at Cable and Wireless, a senior manager at Cable and Wireless, and properly trained compared to somebody like Serpent. And for those who may have an issue with this type of approach, you must know whether or not the Labour Party has a more competent team, and we do. And myself and Alistair, well, all I have to say is that I completed my schooling, and already I'm better trained than him. I completed my secondary schooling. I don't have to go any further.
All right.
And that makes me better trained. And I finished. Hold on, man. Let me go to the list.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go to St. Peter. Rodden Turner, who is a young candidate, an architect. He has actually built several buildings, one of which I know was celebrated recently in a global publication. He's built properties at Jolly Harbour, Jumbi Benson, one of our best, builders. And you look at the guy there, what's his name there for UPP? No qualifications.
Peter Reds.
No qualifications. Where is he going? And you look at QT versus Franz. Again, chalk to cheese. I mean, QT is easily one of the most celebrated attorneys in the OECS and beyond within the broader Caribbean. In fact, truth be told, QT should have been made a Queen's Counsel already, based on his qualifications and his experience. Let us look at Daryl Matthew. Daryl Matthew has a master's degree compared to the young lady there. The only thing that we know that she has done of any consequence, she sold ice cream. And again, it doesn't matter what you do. I mean, any kind of profession provides an honest profession, or you're doing honest work, that's fine. But the point I'm making here, selling ice cream is not precisely the skills that we're looking for. In fact, there's going to be a meeting in Barbados in the next few days in which the African Exim Bank has invited us to become members, Caribbean countries. I would not be able to make it because of a prior commitment. And I've asked Minister Matthew to represent the country. He will be meeting with lots of heads, regional heads. But I don't have to worry about his capacity to, sit in a forum with heads and to represent the country. You think that if I had the option like people like Pearl and Serpent and the girl Potter and so on, Peter Reds and the other one that are running against Malwin, you think I could nearly consider selecting any of them to go and sit down with people like Ralph and me and so on? And they would not even be able to open their mouths. They'd be so intimidated, yeah? So if you continue and you go through the list, Sir Robin served as an accountant for many years. So Robin has over 50 years of experience. That alone would wipe out the guy there, Alex. Who else we have now? I'm going through the list. Samantha versus some boy they call Shuggy now. Chalk and cheese. I mean, Shuggy can't stand in Samantha's shoes. I mean, Shuggy is an intellectual lightweight. Incidentally,